How long have I been talking for with my mic muted? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Talking Cafe Live. Welcome back to Sedgemoor. My name's Lauren. I am the team lead for Village Agents in Sedgemoor. Unmute, I did, Sue, thank you. I think I hadn't noticed the mute mic bit coming up. So good morning, Julie. Lovely to have you with us this morning. We are back in Sedgemoor on Thursday, the 8th of October, and I'm joined this morning by Fusion Family Somerset. So I'm going to add Jonathan and Michelle into the stream now. Good morning, Jonathan and Michelle. How are you?
Hello. Good morning.
Good, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It's great to have you.
Pleasure.
I will let you introduce yourselves and then we'll have a chat.
Okay. Well, my name's Jonathan. This is Michelle. We're a husband and wife, and we live in Cheddar. We're based in Cheddar, and we run something called Fusion Family Somerset. I think that's near enough it. We've only been here, what?
2 years.
2 years. Yeah, and we moved from Leigh-on-Sea in Essex.
Great.
Originally for a job in a church within Cheddar, but we just decided to
go off on our own
and do our own thing. Yeah, we'll explain more as we go on.
Great. So you've not been in Somerset too long then? I didn't realise that.
No,
we're newbies.
Newbies.
Yeah, newbies. Yeah.
Great. And have you been welcomed by the community and are you settling in okay? Couple of years now.
It's been a strange year, obviously, from sort of doing our own thing. So I think we found so much more support in doing that.
Yeah.
It's been completely different for us from obviously living in the south.
Yeah.
In Essex, such a built up place, to then come into here was quite a shock to the system.
I bet.
Yeah. Totally different. The lifestyle's different. It's a lot more laid back. Education for our boys in schools, because they're in local schools, is completely different. So so far so good. I mean, Fusion Family Somerset has only been running for just a year. So we were a year in the job previous, but 2 years.
Great. So have you both got a background in the church?
When you start, because yours is very vast.
Background in the church. So when we say church, okay. So obviously for us, we're not kind of religion focused. I don't think that I think church needs to be relevant. That's the reason why we decided to do what we did. We've moved all over. I mean, my dad was a minister of a church, so I kind of grew up in and around it. I went on missions when I was 18. I went out to Albania, Yugoslavia, lived out there for a bit and done aid work. Then the base was in Milton Keynes. That's where I went to Bible school there. And then I was working as a youth and kids worker there. And we used to have a kids club of probably about 400 kids that used to come in every Friday night. Then I moved to Bradford. That's where we knew each other. Worked for a church there. The church up there was 2,000-3,000 people.
Okay.
So on a Sunday, the kids work that I looked after again was mostly street kids from Bradford. So a lot of inner city kids. We could have probably about 1,000 kids on a Sunday morning that we were pulling in, and then midweek stuff. And then from there moved to from there.
We've travelled a bit.
Then worked in Ilkley for the Methodists, and then Leigh-on-Sea. Again, worked with local schools, done a lot of schools work, a lot of community work. We had a kids club there, quite a big one again, about 150 kids. And then we decided that, I don't know, I think for us, because Essex was changing so much, there was a lot of stuff moving in from London. It was getting more and more polluted. It was getting more and more violent. We didn't really want the boys in local schools, so we kind of looked around for work elsewhere, and then Cheddar came up. And
I'd never even heard of it before.
I bet. Just the cheese.
Yeah.
Top.
So we were like, okay, we're moving here. I've never even been here, so we came here about 3 times, didn't we?
Yeah,
we actually moved.
Wow.
Yeah, we visited a few times. I mean, our background is church. I mean, you've been heavily involved in.
Yeah, I'm more kind of like the music and creative side of things, really. I have done kids' work, but for me, like, because our church was so big, so there was like, we had our own albums and things like that. So for me, I was more involved with that side of things, really. So again, same to Jonathan, really, since I was really young. So yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, for us, we just really believe that church should reach its community and should be relevant. And this has really been a bugbear for me, especially, and for you, that church really, at times, it just is more of a repellent than it actually is something that is relevant to people's lives. So we, more and more, we decided to base ourselves in the community and be for the community. I think we recognised within Cheddar that there were certain issues. Funny enough, when we first moved to Cheddar, somebody said to me, made a comment and said, "There's no poverty, there's no need in Cheddar."
Yeah.
And I went, well, from what I kind of see, and we'd only been there a matter of months. I said, I think you're wrong on that. I think you have got a wrong mindset on it, and I think the more that you look, you'll find it.
Yeah.
So obviously we started off. This is pre-COVID, isn't it? Really, with schools, because that's my background. That's kind of your background. Working in schools, doing lunchtime clubs for the children. Running activities like craft and sport. That was basically for kids that were struggling through the day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we based ourselves in the beginning, working with local schools. So all the schools in Cheddar and Draycott and Shipham, kind of offering that stuff, doing assemblies, an after schools club, that type of thing. And I think what we started to notice was also that there were, that sounds awful, but you don't want to put people in the boxes, but there was poverty.
Yeah.
And certainly around food poverty that we started to pick up on. And that, to be honest with you, I don't know what other areas are like across Somerset. I think for us, we started to realise that the certain kind, if you want to class them, estates were kind of near enough hidden away.
Yeah.
And forgotten. So for us, it was very much forgotten people that were totally overlooked, that people just didn't want to recognise the issue and the problems.
Yeah.
So for us, I think we decided that we want to bring that up to the plate and go, well, there are issues, there are difficulties, and people are in need. So what can we do to help combat that stuff?
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're kind of at now.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, it sounds fantastic, and like you say, I totally agree that the people that need us are sometimes not the people that are at the forefront of our communities. They're the people that are hidden away in estates and not banging on the door for help. So it's really great to know that you're out there in that area providing support for these people. What sort of support should we go on to? Food boxes, is that a good place to go next? I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook.
You want to talk about that a bit?
Well, I think after some of the events and stuff that we started to run, we were doing like fun days and things like that, so it was enabling us to meet people, and it just kind of happened through conversation, really, didn't it? Through talking to families that were coming to these events that we were doing and saying, what are the things that you guys need? Where are you struggling? What's going on for you? And previous to being here in Essex, we partnered with Tesco, and Tesco were giving us food. Yeah. And so when we were doing our youth clubs, we would have food laid out, and parents would come and they would pick up things that they needed. So we had that kind of connection there already that we knew of. Yeah. So obviously when these families were coming and saying, Well, food for us is a huge issue because they'll pay out for bills or they'll do this, that, and the other for what their kids need, and kind of food is the last thing really that's left over. So then, with that connection that we already had, we were like, okay, what can we do then that's going to help with the food stuff? And then we partnered with Tesco first of all, didn't we?
Yeah. So it's fair share go. So I guess fair share weirdly has become more and more popular, or has its profile has been raised a lot more. I mean, when we were in Lee, we never even heard of them. No. We just knew that it was surplus food. So we started off with just kind of that surplus stuff. The amount of waste out of just Tesco's cheddar, just a small little place.
Yeah.
I mean, they bag it up into large bags, and you can sometimes come out with 3. I don't want to equate it to that, but 3 bin bags of bread, cakes, sometimes vegetables and stuff. So we kind of hit it at that point, and then we got in discussions with FareShare, and then realised, because we didn't actually know the other part of FareShare, that they provide fresh food, to charities and other organisations that can distribute. So all of this food that they have is surplus stuff straight from the distribution.
Surplus, or it's donation based, isn't it, through customers and things like that.
Yeah. So I don't know if Tesco's have too much or too many mushrooms, and they can't get it into their stores, then it will go to FareShare. So it's everything that's in date. It's vegetables, fruit, yogurts, cheese, dairy stuff, meat, all that type of stuff, and the catering business. I mean, obviously, when COVID happened, Toby Carvery gave a whole load of, their joints, gammon joints, and all that type of stuff. That all came through.
I think, like, for us, we see the amazing work that Food Bank do.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. But the one thing that people were telling us was, Food Bank is great, but we cannot get anything that is fresh. We can't get fresh vegetables. We can't get fresh fruit. We can't get meat. We can't get fresh milk or, fridge stuff. Yeah. So we were like, we need to find a way of filling this gap.
Yeah.
And that was when we decided to partner with FareShare Southwest. And so that's enabled us then to build up these food boxes, which I've posted previously on our page, because we get asked so many times, what's in the box? What's in the box? What food do you get? So a couple of weeks ago, we decided to sort of take pictures of everything that we got to show people. And some weeks it just completely blows us away, doesn't it, with the food that we get. But it just enabled us then to kind of fill the gap where Food Bank was doing, the pastas, the tinned food. Yeah. We could then come alongside and go, right, now you've got this, now you can have the fresh as well. And from the feedback that we've got, it has changed
people's lives,
really, for their families.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I mean,
that tends to be the expensive stuff as well, doesn't it? The fresh stuff, the nutritious stuff, the stuff to make an actual meal out of. You can get the cans and the tinned goods quite cheaply these days in supermarkets, but it's the fresh vegetables and things that tend to be at a higher cost.
Yeah, and also, I mean, some of it is educating people as well, because they don't know what to do with some of the stuff. I mean, the other day we had
we got plantain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
We had banana leaves.
We've had banana leaves.
We've had all sorts of kind of random.
I think that's the really good thing, though, that families have said. Sometimes we get things that we've never tried before, and our kids have never seen or tried before, and then that enables them to widen their palates and stuff. So they're not just with tin stuff or perhaps some frozen things. They're going, wow, these are things that I could have never tried before, and now I'm able to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So how does it work? FareShare deliver the food to you, and then what happens from there?
So we pick it up from them. It's all done in a day. Literally, so everything's fresh. There's no waste or storing it or keeping it. It's just literally from them to us and then straight back out. So that at the moment that happens on a Monday. So we'll meet the refrigerated van at the moment. We'll pick it up, bring it here. It just literally comes in crates and boxes. So obviously we've got cool boxes and cool packs and all the rest of it. Yeah. Bring it straight back. At the moment, we've probably 20 clients at the moment. Come back and literally sort it all. So the vegetables and stuff will, broccoli will just come in a crate. So you've got to pull it out and separate it into separate bags, and and then it will literally go out. So at the moment, we do have. So it's myself and Michelle will pick all that up and sort all that stuff out, and then we'll have another lady that helps us distribute out, because we hit cheddar, but we've got Draycott, Wells, Wedmore,
Western, Highbridge.
Yeah.
We were doing Bridgewater.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the moment, it's mostly kind of the villages that are in and around Cheddar, really, that we've kind of focused on. Obviously, Wedmore, Wells, Axbridge. There's been quite a few come up in Axbridge.
Yeah. So we just bag everything up, and we've got these plastic crates like you see in the supermarket, really. Yeah. And we started off with cardboard boxes, so we have gone up in the world because we've plastic crates now. But we bag it all up, we pack it all up into the different boxes, and each box has got like a laminated sheet with the client's name and address on it. And then our fantastic helper Bella will come, and she'll take about 7-ish of those, and she'll drive off and she'll distribute them. We normally ask people to leave out shopping bags so that we're not leaving the crates, and that started off really because of the whole COVID thing. We were just dropping it in,
and then we would just continue to do that because to be honest with you, I mean, right, so we started this not because some people think we started this because of COVID.
Yeah,
this was planned and talked about well before this hit. Our first week was the week that we went into lockdown.
Okay.
So it was a little bit bizarre.
It was so bizarre, wasn't it?
So our plan originally was for people to come to us and then pick and choose what they wanted. But to be honest, we've just found it a lot easier just to bag and distribute and get out to people. I think and it's nice. I mean, it's good for us because we can get out, see where they are, and then we have conversation with people. At the door. I mean, some weeks we don't see anybody. You just literally bag it, and it
depends what the weather's like.
Yeah.
So you meet them where they're at. Obviously, we do lives like this on a Sunday. But the phone is constantly buzzing. We're talking to them and relating to this because it's not just about the food. The food is just, I guess, for us, is a channel to reach out to people. Yeah. To talk to them. Now, okay, we're not trying to obviously drag them and make them religious and all the rest of it and force our kind of beliefs on them. That's not what it's about. But it's about making that link to basically help people and to encourage them and to strengthen them and to. It's an all-rounded picture, I think, for us because there's much more to it, and we're finding out with these people there's much more to them. And some of their gifts and talents and skills and abilities and all the rest of it, we've seen kind of pop out, and it's about helping them.
I think as well, like the food stuff has opened doors to other issues that are going on within households. So, we deliver a food box, but then we find out perhaps that, there's abuse going on, or there's other issues within families. But without that first initial delivery,
kind of contact.
And that contact of let's help you with food, you wouldn't necessarily find out all those other things and be able to put them in the direction of places to help them with those issues as well. So
we're building friendships. We're building a link, and like I said earlier on, we are being relevant. We're speaking everyday language which people understand. And just getting at a baseline level to try and help them. So for us, again, obviously, the food box, we do charge for it. you know, it is £5 a week, and there is a membership fee. And some people think, well, why do you do that?
Yeah.
The reason why we do that, I think, it gives people a little bit of dignity. They are working towards something. It's helping them to budget. So that is something that we've seen in some families now that have totally turned their lives around, that they've started to budget and think about priorities. Because I think sometimes if you're constantly giving people free food and free stuff constantly, they do not learn how to fight for themselves, and they don't learn how to budget. And I'm not against food bank, please. I'm not saying that, but I think if we're going to constantly give freebies out, we're not helping people. So for us, I think we, you know, £5 for probably £30-40 worth of goods is pretty good.
But also to say that does not come and make profit for us.
No, it doesn't.
No. We go and we pay to Fair Share Southwest for the food that we get. So that's just important to say.
We're not for profit. Everything goes back into that, and obviously for petrol and all the other bits. So we're not making money out of this.
No.
But I think, you know, we felt that was an important thing to do.
That's something that we talk about a lot about with agents is about budgeting and not just going in and rescuing the situation as needed. Like you say, there's a place for food banks. There are situations where it is needed, but also going in after and then teaching them not to get back into that situation if possible. So how can you budget? How can you, like you say, help yourself and make them better? Nobody wants to be in that situation forever, do they? So we need to be giving people the skills.
And we've successfully seen people move on out of this, and you know, either they've got another job or they don't need us anymore, and that's great. You know, I don't think we don't want to be forming another crutch. For people to kind of constantly be leaning on us all the time. Obviously, if they do need us on a longer basis, then they need us. That's all well and good. But for us, I think, is to see people's lives transformed and changed. I mean, obviously, so we are Christians, so we do believe that God can do that and transform people's lives, because we've seen it in our own lives. So, you know, obviously, we do have those values in what we do. And that is why we do what we do. So, you know, like I said, we do a lot of schools work and assemblies. So Fusion Family Somerset is not just, you know, one trick pony. You know, there's a lot that we do, but obviously for COVID, it's kind of stopped a lot of that stuff from happening. So we are refocusing. But however, we've just partnered with Edge Ministries. Again, it's a Christian organisation. It's quite a large organisation, and they are all about working with forgotten communities or lost communities. So next year we're planning on opening what we call it?
Poverty Impact Centre.
Okay.
So it will have a few different kind of avenues to it, but we can't really say.
We're not giving away too much.
We can't say much about it just yet.
We've just come out obviously with the news to people and said, you know, this is what we are doing.
Yeah.
But I think we're just very careful of obviously saying, oh, it's going to be this and it's going to be that.
Yeah.
But it's definitely obviously going to still focus around the surplus food stuff, but like you said, there are other issues and there's other things that we want to help with and do. And then obviously all the kids stuff and all the youth stuff that we do and all the school stuff and all those other bits and pieces will all be plugged around our own building and our own centre, so we can resource more and we can do more. You know, when we originally started off with Fair Share, one of their biggest things was that they couldn't get food out to some of the villages further out, which we've been fairly successful, but I think that they want to reach out a lot more. They're looking to probably put a hub in this area somewhere. So there's a lot of talk around maybe that being a possibility as well in the future. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to look, but we know that there's a lot of funding out there. So at the moment, we're not a for-profit organisation. We've not gone down the avenue of becoming a charity or any of those things.
We did start filling out the paperwork, didn't we, for CIC? But
COVID
put a halt to that, so we're
Yes.
having to do that again, aren't we?
But the partnership with the Edge Ministries will give us the vehicle to, you know, the charitable status and all that type of stuff, because they already are. So it doesn't mean that we're going to become them. It just means that we're going to be partnered with them, and they will help do what we do. Because at the moment, we do what we do. It's myself and Michelle. There's a couple of other volunteers. So if there's anybody out there watching,
Any volunteers?
any
Perfect.
volunteers, but we need refrigerated vans or a van. You know, there's funding and stuff that we need if people want to give towards food. So we do have private sponsorships. There is another church that's given just this week £500 that's going to help us out for Christmas. Our aim is for all those clients to help them out over Christmas and providing food and stuff. So we're looking at that. So if people do want to partner or help us,
we do have a GoFundMe page, and we do have a PayPal giving, which is all over our Facebook page. So if people do want to help out,
or if there's any farms.
I'll make sure that I come back and put it in the comments later, all your details, so that people can find you. And it sounds really exciting with your plans for next year. You'll have to come back and do another Talking Cafe when you can talk about it and let us know when it's all up and running. It sounds exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Great. Well, it sounds like you're doing really, really amazing things. It'd be great to link up with you and work with you in the future. Have you met Kirsten Rushby, who's our village agent over in that area?
We've had a telephone conversation.
Yeah,
but we're yet to meet face to face.
Again, COVID has floored us. We've working very hard from home at the moment, but perhaps when Kirsten is out and about in the community a bit more, she'll come and say hello, and we can link
that'd
up
be good.
that way. That'd be really great. I'll pass that info on to her.
Definitely.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to bring to the live before we finish for the day? Anything else you haven't said? No, all happy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, obviously, it's just getting out there and letting people know what we do.
Yeah.
Said if there's people who want to partner, or there's some farmers or people with allotments that have got surplus food, you know, then
come and find us.
Come and find us.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Perfect. All right. Well, I'll make sure I come back and pop your links in the comments.
Yes.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
and
thank you
for having us.
Next year when you've got everything up and running, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thanks, both. Take care.
Speak soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.